Welcome to the training video of Rental DIY. Here we're going to go over the shooting process for you in getting your photos taken in the best way possible. Now, firstly, we're using our mobile phones, and a lot of the tips that I do provide through this video also reflect into using a DSLR or mirrorless camera. Now, this video is here to help you take photos yourself and get the most out of your property. I'm going to be going through a few tips for you, step by step from basic to advanced. And if you do follow these, it might result in you not needing to send out a professional photographer to shoot your property. So let's start with the basics. Firstly, shoot wide. Now, if you're using a phone, one of the easiest ways to shoot wide is to get your phone, and I have this one here, and never ever take your photo like this way. Take it horizontally. Why is that? Is because this already brings out the shot much more wider. So don't shoot vertical, shoot horizontal with your phone. So another terminology is portrait, a portrait photo or a landscape photo. We want to shoot in this landscape orientation, as that's going to provide you with the widest shot for your property. Secondly, a lot of the new phones coming out now, including this one here, the Note 10 Plus, has a wide angle lens. And if you didn't have a wide angle lens built into your phone, like an older model here, the iPhone 6, you can buy adapters. So with this, having your phone in landscape mode and using a wide angle lens will get your shot much wider, which all of us real estate photographers do use to get the best shot for you. The next point is shoot level. If you're not shooting straight with your camera, you are actually disturbing the way people see and perceive every single day. Our eyes are level, so we actually see vertical as vertical and horizontal as horizontal. So if you display an image that breaks this normality, then you are faced with a picture that is not as attractive. So easily done. Make sure you shoot with your camera as level and straight as possible. Another helpful thing when you are taking your images is to put on the grid outline display on your phone, which most phones has this feature, which gives you a guide so you can see lines in native positions, vertical and horizontal, so your image can line up to those as best as possible. Now, if you are using a wide angle lens, you might see some distortion. Through these levels, distortion, etc., can be fixed in post-production. Now, I do say you can use a tripod that can really help with getting your camera level, but I still recommend to make sure your camera is level before each photo is taken. Another tip for you is get in as much light as possible. Now, the basics of every camera works off drawing in light into the camera's lens and hitting the sensor of that camera. Now, this might sound a bit technical, but that's just how an image is processed. If you've ever done any photography classes in the past, you may know a little bit about this. But in sense, more light is better quality images. So firstly, it's very simple, is to make sure you turn on every single light in the property and open up every single curtain or blind that this property has, so that the light can come through the windows. Now, positioning of your camera during a real estate photography shoot is one of the most crucial parts in what makes your photo great or not. Now, you could probably place your camera throughout multiple different locations through your property. I will provide you with 3 key positioning tactics that will produce 90% of the best images you could possibly take as a real estate photographer. Firstly, the corner. Entering the corner of the room gives you one of the widest points that room can possibly have, hence making the space look as big as possible. Remember, you can also open up doors and use doorways or hallways or openings that can give you the optimal position to put your camera right in the corner of the room. Next, the straight on. With this positioning, it's all about symmetry. Try to shoot with as many horizontal and vertical lines as straight as possible. Because when you do shoot in a corner, yes, it does look wide. However, you'll see from taking a corner shot that the lines such as from the tiles, the corner crevices, the window lines, etc., aren't in a direct horizontal or vertical line. To shoot straight on, the best way to do that possibly is to look for as many horizontal lines and vertical lines so that they are in fact like that in camera. I've heard of agents call this the magazine shot as well. So you might find this as a more presentable shot in some certain circumstances where the corner shot using the whole width and wideness of your lens doesn't look as optimal. The third point to this is what I call the rule of open space. Now the rule of open space is a secondary underlying tactic that you need to have in place when you are using the corner shot or the straight on shot, which is if you are taking a photo, that it is sometimes best to avoid obstruction to create open space. Now, for example, if you are getting further back in the room, in a doorway of such, you might be obstructed such as from another wall or from a rope or even furniture. So what ends up happening is you're blocking the space that image potentially has, thus creating a feeling of crampedness, which means some of your image may display a big block or a big coverage of an object that actually kills the open space feeling that the image has. The trick here is to open up the space, which means you may need to take a few steps forward, whether it be not getting as wide of a shot, though in essence creating more of an open space for that. So just keep in mind, once you do start shooting multiple times, that you'll start to realize the pattern and the normal occurrences from taking real estate photos and basically how to improve from there. So just by using these three tactics, you'll find your images are getting better time and time again. Now the final part of real estate photography is not so much taking of photos, of course, but of course the post-processing. That concludes all these tips provided by us for your rental DIY photos. I hope these tips helped, and feel free to address and even give us some feedback on this training process, what you feel you may not understand or may help you in the future.